We are about to begin our program soon. While waiting for the event to start, you may grab your drinks and snacks to keep you energized throughout the ceremony. Your patience is appreciated. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, our event is starting soon. Before we begin, I would like to remind each of you to only use appropriate language when interacting in the YouTube comment section. And don't forget to fill in the registration form that will be given in the YouTube comment section, or you can scan the QR code on the screen. Thank you for your cooperation. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam UiTM di hatiku and a very good evening to everyone. We are delighted to welcome our honored panelists of the night, Damia Batrisha Rizal, UiTM volunteer to Green Summer Volunteering Campaign in Vietnam, Nguyen Thai Nguyen, Foreign Trade University student volunteer from Vietnam, and Wan Shahme, UiTM student to an exchange program in Canada. Honorable mention, Faculty of Education UiTM for giving us the platform to conduct this program tonight. We would also like to extend our salutation and appreciation to our collaborative partner, Brigade Sukarelawan UiTM Shah Alam, and a very special thanks to our strategic partners, the Majlis Perwakilan Pelajar MPP of UiTM, and not to forget the Secretariat Mahasiswa Fakulti Pendidikan SMFP. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the International Volunteering Talk 2022. My name is Abdin Shakirin, and I will be your moderator for tonight's event. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank all of you for spending your time with us as we take an insight into international volunteering together this evening. Dear audience, before we proceed with our event, let us begin by singing our national anthem Negaraku and Wawasan Sertia Warga UiTM. Thank you, everyone. Now, in blessing tonight's event, let's invite Bashe to lead the prayer recitation.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي وفقنا لطاعته وهدانا لعبادته وحصنا برسالة حبيبه ورسوله اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على عبدك ورسولك سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه صلاة وسلاما دائمين متلازمين إلى يوم الدين اللهم يا الله, on this blessed night, in conjunction with the International Volunteering Talk, we beseech thee and grateful towards you in favor of all the infinite blessings to us, your humble servant, to live in safe and prosperous life. We seek your blessings for a flawless progress of this event from beginning till the end. We seek your guidance to steer clear of events that would detrimental the progress of this event. Ya Latif, Ya Rahman, please bless us with your tawfiq and hidayat. Please guide University Technology Mara to greatness, peace, glory, and prosperity in this world and the hereafter. Make us a responsible intellectual. Grant us with a valuable knowledge that will be beneficial to mankind to gain your mardatillah. Make us your righteous servant that follow your commands and neglect the sinful act. Please forgive us for our wrongdoing. اللهم بك نستعين وعليك نتوكل وأنت رب العرش العظيم ارحمنا يا ربنا فإنك أنت أرحم الراحمين وصلى اللهم وسلم على خير خلقه محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين تقبل الله منكم.
Amin, Amin, Ya Rabbal Alamin. Thank you, Amma, for the dua recitation just now. May the event flow smoothly as planned. With the prayer said and done, we will continue our program tonight with the first slot titled Reshaping the Future of Volunteerism. Before we begin, I invite our honored panelists to introduce themselves. Hi, how are you, Damya Batrisha?
Hi, moderator. Thank you for calling out my name. I'm good. Hi, everyone. My name is Damya. One of UiTM representative to the Green Summer Volunteer Campaign in Vietnam. Yeah. So I hope you will get the benefits from today's event. Hi, everyone.
Fantastic. All right. What about you, panelist number two, Nguyen Thai Nguyen? How are you
Oh,
doing?
I'm more than great. Hello, moderator, my fellow panelists, Demia, and uh, Mr. Warren Shamir. So, a brief introduction about myself. So, my Vietnamese name is Nguyen Thai Nguyen, but in some funny cases that some of my Malaysian friends cannot pronounce my name correctly, I choose to use Nigel for them to more easily refers to me when they are in need. So I am one of the representatives from the Fern Trade University Ho Chi Minh City campus in Vietnam to join the Green Summer Voluntary Campaign in Nha Be District 2022. And in this voluntary talk, I would like to wish all of you a great journey and a great opportunity to understand more about the volunteerism around the world. So give the floor back to you, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you very much. And our panelist number three, Wan Shahmi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator, Mr. Abidin, and my respectful panelists, Ms. Damia and Mr. Nguyen, or Mr. Nigel. So my name is Wan Shahmir. You can call me Mr. Wan or Mr. Shahmir. Either way, I'm fine. I am a semester 7 TESOL student at UiTM Puncak Alam. I joined last year, I think in December, I joined a program called Canada Asian Scholarship of educational exchange for development, meaning I went to Canada for 4 months. So I went to Canada for education experience, but while I was there, I did join several volunteering activities, which I will actually, honored to share with all of you tonight in the sharing session. So my hope is that our discussion today will be fruitful, and I hope we can all learn new things from our discussion today. So let's have a nice time, people.
Thank you very much to our panelists. Great. Now that we have known a little bit about our panelists, let's get started. Now, I am positively sure that our audience is giddy with curiosity on any mention of volunteerism, let alone an international volunteerism. Therefore, I would like to start the session by asking the first question. How do you see volunteerism? So to all of our beloved panelists tonight, how do you see volunteerism? What about
May
you,
I
Damia?
go first? Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay. So how do I see volunteerism? Personally, I see volunteerism as a platform for me to reach out to the other societies, in order for me to make them feel like they are matter. Um, Also, I see volunteerism as a platform for me to build a good relationship with human being, as I believe that social relationships play one of the biggest roles in making a community stronger and even better. And apart from that, I also think that volunteerism is somehow a platform for me to find myself and to be a better version of me in a way that it teaches me to be more selfless, adaptive, and also appreciative. And in short, I see volunteerism as a way of me providing assistance to the community and also for me to learn more about myself. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. What about you, Mr. Nigel? How do you see volunteerism?
Oh, thank you, Jamia, for the answer. I agree with you in some ways that volunteerism do provide an insight into who you are. So, to me, I can see that by definitions, volunteerism is the involvement of the voluntary labor to the community services to make the community that we live or other people live to be better. So to me, I regard volunteerism as an opportunity, just like Mia, to meet people, to know more about actually the world, because the GSVC 2022 is actually the first time that I went on to a voluntary campaign, and what I have learned and gained from that journey was spectacular and outstanding. So one more point that I want to presented to you is that by joining the volunteerism, we can somehow so that we are not sometimes do not bring any values that we think, but we are more than that. And the volunteerism's atmosphere and the people that we meet along the way will contribute to the reflection of ourselves and to the overall development of our personality to be a better developed global citizens. Yeah, so that is what I have in mind about the volunteerism. So give the floor back to Mr. Moderator.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nigel. And Wan Shahme, what about you? What is your opinion on volunteerism?
I think I agree with Ms. Damia and Mr. Nguyen's points of view regarding voluntarism. And to me, I think, yeah, voluntarism is an avenue for us to make connections with others, because I think society is all about connection. When we can actually connect with others, we can form caring and harmonious relationships, which would then, develop and cultivate caring society, which is a very good development for human. So I think also my point is that I think voluntarism is a way to give back to the societies. And when you give back, you help people, and you also gain for yourself. You gain experiences. You gain, you mature as a person when you volunteer. And also, I think it brings a lot of joy to me when I did my volunteers activities there. I think I was so happy with the outcome, so happy with the process, especially with talking, the connection that I gained talking with people. And when you know about people, you can make human interactions, and you can spark a lot of sharing session, exchanges of knowledge and experience. So I think, yeah, my biggest point of volunteerism is you can make connections and you can learn more and grow in person yourself. Yeah, back to you, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you very much to our panelists tonight. I agree with all three panels because when we volunteer, somehow we become a better version of ourselves because we meet new people, we see new places, and we go to extra lengths to make sure that other people feel happy as well, as we do when we volunteer. Now that is said and done, I would like to move on to the next question. So I would like to pose this question to Damia and Mr. Nguyen. What is the importance of giving back to the community? Maybe Damia can answer this question first.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Moderator. So, to answer the question, what is the importance of giving back to the community? I think, on a whole, the main importance is that we get to bring people together and work towards a common goal, which is a better community with a more convenient environment, right? So, people who volunteer get the chance to learn the value of helping others and the gratifications that come afterward. Okay. It also helps us in enhancing the people skills that we could apply later in our lives because um, we communicate and we meet people on our daily basis, like at work, during classes, even as simple as buying groceries, right? We need to have good people skills. So I think the importance of giving back to the community, somehow we get to learn how to develop our people skills. And scientifically, I read somewhere that it activates your brain reward center, like the system is responsible for releasing endorphins, making you feel less stressed out. And I also believe that by helping out, we could actually help us in increasing our very own self-esteem. Yeah, that's for my answer.
Thank you, Damia. All right. What about you, Mr. Nguyen? What do you think is the importance of giving back to community?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Moderator. So I also partly agree with Damia's on her view. So here's my view. So when we go on volunteerism, that especially for the youngsters like us, especially we are university students, we have going on a voluntary campaign means a lot of sacrifices. We have to sacrifice our time. We have to sacrifice our efforts, and we also have to sacrifice our benefits and uh, what it call advantages when we are staying at our accommodations when we rather than we are going to the rural or the community that we need to help. And about the importance of giving back to the community, I would like to quote Mr. Denzel Washington, a very famous actor, that is at the end of the day, it's not about what you have or even what you have accomplished. It's about who you have lifted up, who you have made better, and it's about what you've given back. So to me, to reflect on this quote, I think that giving back to the community by doing volunteerism or by any means of doing a good deed is a valuable action that should be appreciated. And giving back to the communities, um, I regard that giving back to the community means taking more to for the developments of myself. I have I now have more relationship, even with the Malaysian friends, and better connections with the Vietnamese counterparts who were joining also with me on the GSVC 2022. And now I even have the opportunity to share it with all of you guys all over the world and about my points of views about giving back to the community. So I just want to restate my opinions that is don't have to be something superior or have to be something massive. You can start from every most little things like helping your living surrounding or doing one more good deed will help you personally, and will develop your personality to be a better person for the community. So yeah, that is what I think about these questions. Mr. Moderator, give it back to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nguyen, and also Ms. Damia for the sharing just now. I do agree that when we live in a community, we need to be very helpful to each other, because when we help each other, we help ourselves as well. And that is the beauty of living in a community, I think, in my opinion, because we get to help each other and we get to share our happiness and also our assets with our beloved community as well. Now, moving on to the next question, I would like to pose this one to Wan Shahmi. So, Wan Shahmi, what do you think are the opportunities that can be grasped by joining volunteer programs?
Okay, that is an interesting question, Mr. Speaker. I think, first of all, when you do join a volunteering program, the first thing that you obviously can get is meeting new people. So it is actually an interesting because people come from many countries which are rich and robust cultures. So it is actually a very beneficial thing to meet and connect with new people. So when I was in Canada, when I did my volunteer. So there were many people from different countries who were also, doing the same volunteering program. So I got to know where they were from, what's the, Finland's most famous dessert, and what's Kenya's, most famous, cuisine. So we know lots of things. We connect, yeah. Also, when we connect with people, you can actually expand your horizon of connections because we meet many people. So we have to find some common grounds. There's some of us maybe like this kind of music, so maybe we like sports. So when we find that common ground, so the connections will be will be there. I've got one friend from America who liked to travel, so he liked to hitchhike. So yeah, I asked him for his advice. So how are you going to go about Mongolia? He said he wrote donkeys there. So something new that I've never thought I would know, riding donkey in Mongolia. And so I think next is you can get rich and of course unparalleled precious experience. It's something that interesting because not often that we can go do volunteerism overseas or international. So when you get the chance, it is actually one of the golden chances that is very precious to me, and I think to all of you who have been there. So I think yeah, that's three opportunities that I certainly received when I joined the volunteer programs. Yeah, back to you, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wan Shahmi, for that sharing just now. I also agree with you. Not only our not only our connections can be expanded through volunteer programs, but also our knowledge. Today, I learned that Mongolians ride donkey while they hitchhike. So, yeah, I get to share that knowledge with myself as well, and also to all of our audiences today. Yeah, good sharing, good sharing. Okay, so we'll move on to the next question. I would like to ask Mr. Nguyen about this question. So, in your opinion, how will volunteerism change in the future?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Moderator. So regarding the questions, how will the volunteerism change in the future? First of all, I want to talk about a little more personal perspective is about the topic of reshaping the futures of volunteerism. So to me personally, uh, reshaping the futures of volunteerism is not how you reshape your community or you make practical changes, but it is come within yourself. I regard volunteerism as an opportunity to reshaping myself first. By that way, I can motivate myself to be a better person, a more positive and wholesome volunteer students to provide assistance and to give back more to the society where I dwell. So, and one more thing, regarding the futures of volunteerism, I think that the volunteerism has always been wholesome and beneficial to the volunteers, as it has always been. Regarding the facts that when volunteers, especially volunteer students, when they meet together, they have to live together and they have to develop people skills, like Demia have mentioned, to accommodate to the situations and to resolve any pop-up problems or we have to work together. We have to work out a plan, a proposal, or any solutions to the activities that we attended. We develop like a sense of connections and a sense of community sensitivity, so as we feel more appreciative of where we live, what we have, and the people that has been less advantageous than us. So the futures of volunteerism, I strongly and I consolidately place my belief that the futures of volunteerism will not only develop to its consolidations, but it will also bloom. I use the word blooms just like flower, because when international students, especially international personality, religions, when we have the opportunity to intertwine and we have the opportunity to share our perspective on doing good things and making contribution to the society where we live, I think that will uh, better the better many aspects of the world. And as the opportunity I have got is that I got to know a lot of great college students from Malaysia. So I regard them as my sister, my older sisters, and my older brothers, and I feel every affections that they show in everyday life. So the futures of for summing up everything that I want to say is that the futures of volunteerism is placed in good hands and placed in good hearts. Yeah, back to you, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nguyen. I do agree with that, with your view. Volunteerism is in the good hands because the new generations are now more knowledgeable, because knowledge is just at the tip of the finger now with all the technological advances. So I do agree with your point. We can safely believe and trust the future generations in carrying out the good deeds of volunteerism. Yes, I do agree. All right. So I would like to proceed with the next question. I would like to ask Miss Damia on this. So, Miss Damia, what are the challenges you think that will be faced when we go for a volunteering program?
Thank you for the question. Hmm. I think to answer that, there are quite a lot of challenges that you could face when you go on volunteering. I think for me, the first one, it actually depends. As for me personally, when I went to Vietnam, the biggest challenge is actually being away from my family for a month, because I've never been like that long away from my parents. Because like you are worried about the bad possibilities of your loved ones, of everything that could happen when you're away from them, right? That's like my main challenge, I think. Second one, when you are volunteering, most of the time you are being put through places that are quite risky, like the flood. Like you are going to meet with the flood victims. They are exposed to diseases or anything that are quite risky in terms of the water contamination and everything. You will be exposed to risky activities and the risk of getting any kind of diseases. And third, the challenge that you might face when you go on volunteering would be knowing strangers, because sometimes we don't do well with new people because we don't know them personally. And then you have to have a good team, because you are basically, when you go for a volunteering, you don't really do it alone. You are going to do with a group of friends or a group of people that you just knew. So you have to know how to adapt with the new situations, and also you'd have to know how to adapt with the new people. Like you have to learn their body language, the way they speak, and you have to understand their language. Also, another challenge would be language barrier if you are going for an international volunteering. Next up, I think it's a challenge for some people to be empathy of the people around you, especially to the people, what do you call that? To the victims. Because when you are volunteering, there are victims sometimes. It's hard to be empathizing all the time. but you have to do that. You have to learn to do that. And lastly, one of the challenges is to be more cautious and knowledgeable about the places and the people that you are going to meet. You know, yeah, you have to know, and you have to be more open of the people there, and you cannot condemn their culture. Why do they do this? Why is their religion asking them to do that? You have to be very open and high empathy. Yeah, I think that's all for the challenges that we can face during volunteering.
Thank you very much, Miss Damia, for your sharing. I do agree that whatever we do, whenever we go for the sake of this event, we are talking about volunteerisms. So I do believe that wherever we go, there will be challenges, but these challenges serve as a stepping stone for us to learn and to develop ourselves more towards enveloping the new future and hardships that is coming towards our way. But yes, thank you, Miss Damia, for your sharing. Now we have move on to the final question for this slot. I would like to ask Mr. Wan Shahmir on this. So, Mr. Wan Shahmir, what is your opinion on education volunteerism? Is it important?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Such a thought-provoking question. I mean, to me, I think that education volunteerism is absolutely important. I think it's vital, in fact, because I think students or maybe youngsters should be exposed to volunteerism at an early age. I mean, I would prefer at primary school, maybe kindergartens, because it's good that they can develop that impeccable characters, because we want for them to be able to cultivate, empathetic feelings and selflessness, as well as, caring and considerations toward others. So when they have all that characteristics from young age, so they are able, when they grow up, they see people more compassionately with, caring eyes. So that will actually form very, very good new generation that will care for others. And also, I think it's important to expose students to volunteerism at an early age, because it's a joyful experience. I watched the other day, they call it a TV show in Australia. They pair 4-year-old kids with elderly people so they can make connections. And I think at the end of the process, it was such a warm and such a, beautiful friendships formed during that experiment. So I think it's a joyful and experience, as well as I think, when you are in university, right, when you do volunteering activities, and then it would look very good as you are going to be matured. And also when you are applying for jobs, right, when you have that, you have joined volunteering activities in your CV, it will actually show that you are an active member of society, that you are caring. So therefore, it's a good thing to be mature, to give back. And that's why I think education volunteerism can start from young age, so that we can have very excellent generation that care for others. Back to you, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you very much, Mr. Washahme, on your sharing. I do agree that education volunteerism is very important. Who knows that education can take place outside of our classrooms? Most people had this stigma and also stereotype that we can only learn in the classroom. But when we go on volunteering, especially in new places abroad or local, we get to see more and we get to learn more than we do in our classrooms. But yeah, I do agree that volunteering, especially and education in relation, is very important towards each other. Okay, thank you very much for that sharing. Thank you for the insightful opinions from our panelists. I hope that all of us can benefit from their views and take as well as inspire us in future volunteerism. Now, let's move on to our second slot for the night. For our beloved audience who might not know, quite recently, the Yayasan Sukarelawan Siswa, or the YSS, had chosen a number of local university students, which included our very own Miss Damia Batrisha, for a volunteer mission in Vietnam, where she met her counterpart, Mr. Nguyen Thai Nguyen, a student volunteer in Vietnam who were volunteering in the program as well. And not to forget, recently, Wan Shahmeh have been selected for an exchange program to the country of Canada and had the opportunity to volunteer there. I am excited to know his story. Luckily for us, the three of them are right here in the same space as all of us to share their exciting experiences of volunteering abroad. Without wasting any more time, let's invite the first panelist to the stage. So, Miss Damia, I have a set of questions for you that I hope that you can share with all of us. So, how was the selection process for the volunteer program?
Hi everyone again. Hi, my name is Damia, as you might know, but you can call me Mia. Okay, so how was the selection process? I was going through my WhatsApp status and I saw like a poster calling out for volunteers who might want to go to. Hello?
Hello, Miss Damia?
Oh no!
Hello, Miss Damia? I hope you're doing well.
Oh no.
Hello, Miss Damia, are you there? All right. It seems that Miss Damia is having some technical problems, but don't worry, our beloved audiences. We will invite the second panelist of the night to share his experience. So, Mr. Nguyen, Thai Nguyen, are you? I hope you are ready for some questions.
Yes.
Actually, we want to know from you. You were in the same volunteer program as Miss Damia did. So I reckon that you underwent the same process as her. So I would like to ask you the first question. How was the selection process for you?
Okay. So thank you, Mr. Moderator. So regarding the questions, I would like to put it clear like that. So basically, Damias and I was on the same voluntary campaign, that is the Green Summer Voluntary Campaign 2022 in Ho Chi Minh City. But because we come from different university, and the organizations that in charge of the selection process is also different. So there will definitely be differences between the two. So Jamia is under the moderations of the Yayasan Sukarelawan Siswa, uh, and me, the Green Summer Voluntary Campaign, uh, was in charge by the Vietnamese Students Associations from of the Foreign Trade University Ho Chi Minh City campus. Uh, these organizations work in collaborations with the Youth Union of the Foreign Trade University Ho Chi Minh City campus also to provide us with a chance to go on volunteerism in the commute uh, within the within Ho Chi Minh City area. So the selection process has particularly two stages. The first stage is an application form that I personally have to put in my insights or my knowledge about the campaign as a whole, and also my capabilities of resolving the text, and also my capability of using proper English, because we all comprehend that foreign trade university students gonna be living together and working together with a foreign group of people, which is particularly the Malaysian friends. Yeah. So after the application form, we have an interview round around 2 weeks later to put it clear about my expectations and the organizer expectations about the outcomes of the campaign. So basically, um, to be honest, the to go volunteer with the international students was not my, was not my initial expectations. But after all, you know, it's the way of the world that we have a chance to go together, and we share the same experience and the same campaigns. So yeah, so Brett, that is practically the selection process of the Foreign Trade University Ho Chi Minh City campus organization.
All right, thank you very much for enlightening us tonight for the selection process. So, may I know where did you go for the volunteering mission?
Yeah, to be particular, the place that we went is Hiệp Phước Camille, Nha Be district, Ho Chi Minh City. Yeah, Ho Chi Minh City.
I see. So it's a commune within the Ho Chi Minh City.
Yes.
So, what did you and the rest of the volunteers do there? So, can you give us a brief summary of the activities that you guys did?
Okay, so regarding the activities that we have accomplished, so before we start the campaign, there will be a list of activities that each and every member, every member of my uh, voluntary team, the Vietnamese one, have to be in charge of one of that. So being in charge practically means that you're going to be the leader, you're going to be the supervisor when that activity is taking place during the campaign. So we have done a lot of things from painting the primary school, repainting the bridge, repainting the facility of the secondary school, and we also have one of the biggest project, uh, which is as I recall, was also sponsored by the YSS, was constructing a 250-meter long road to assist the local community with transportations. Yeah, so practically the Vietnamese counterpart and the Vietnamese and the Malaysians counterparts have been assisting another force to construct that road. And there are also many more astounding activities like uh, I remember one panel of the Malaysian students in charge of teaching the primary school students in the local primary school. Yeah, and beside that, we have a lot of ceremony activities and paying tribute activity to the community.
Those are very impressive activities that you did, and I believe that it has brought a lot of benefits for the commune there. So, Mr. Nguyen, I would like to proceed with the next question. So, there, in throughout the program, in throughout the period of the volunteer program that you went, what was the most exciting occurring that happened there?
The most exciting? Wow, that is an interesting question because as I have been mentioning before, this whole journey has been filled with a lot of ups and downs, and obviously the positive experiences to me has been more impressive than the downs. So the best occurring, let me see, the best occurring is that I got to know all 18 Malaysian friends that was accommodating with us. Uh, and to me personally, I get to develop my people skill, my social skill, uh, like for example, my communication skills as I learn about the cultural assimilation from the Malaysian leaders and the Malaysian members. I learn about the religions, the Islam, and their daily behaviors and their daily practices with the religions. I also learn to know. I also learn, like Mr. Warren has already mentioned, about the cuisine, about the culture, and about the different perspective as they are the foreigner regarding many aspects of Vietnam. So yeah, that is one of my most outstanding occurrings, and I think that every pieces of experiences have given me and my friends, I think, absolutely uh, lessons and better development for their skills.
All right. So, may I ask you, what are the challenges that you face while you are participating in the volunteer program?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Regarding the challenges faced, let me put this clear. So the first of all, I would like to mention the communications because communication is the key to every success. And I must admit that we, the Vietnamese team and the Malaysian team, had some difficulties in communicating with the others because of the continuity of our schedule. We have to do, continuous activities to meet the criteria of the project, and the Malaysians also have a lot of project going on that they need a Malaysian of a Vietnamese counterpart to assist them in reaching out to the community. So communications, yes, uh, we have to go through language barriers because we have to communicate with others through English, and not every one of us have decent or good English. Sometimes we experience misunderstanding because the culture is different, and also uh, the practices from the religions that mostly of the Malaysians have. And but luckily, after like we've been together for like 4 weeks, and after a long time, we get to overcome these obstacles of communications or language barriers to become better connected, and we become like brothers and sisters in one family. We become a full family. So the predicaments of challenges or hardship come from miscommunication has been cleared out the way, and then as I recall, like the last 1 week of the campaigns, the Malaysians and the Vietnamese has been collaborated very smoothly and very professionally to accomplish their projects and our activities to uh, make the campaigns more and more successful. And one more thing I want to say is that the personal and team conflicts when we are on the volunteerism or voluntary campaigns. So as I mentioned before, we have to sacrifice a lot of benefits and our advantages to, make devotions to the community. So sometimes we're gonna have different personality. Someone will be more expressive, and someone will be less expressive to the others. So personal conflicts and team conflicts happens every time in the meetings. So I hold myself, I hold the Malaysian team positions very high in myself. Is that in every meeting they have very professional manners to address every problem that they have, and they listen perspectively to the problems and they solve like we're gonna have daily meetings in the night, so we have to clear out every negative thoughts before we start a new day, because every day is a new challenge for us to develop and an opportunity to give back to the community, as we were saying before. So I admire everyone, including the Vietnamese and the Malaysians, and also the officers and uh, the local communities, to embrace our differences, to embrace our efforts, and to embrace our willingness to put ourselves into developing the community. And after all, everything that we do, everything that we have accomplished and will do in the future is to, to make every moment more special, uh, while we are producing, valuable outcomes for the community. And after all, it's all our self stories.
All right, I'm happy to hear that all of the challenges have been cleared out and resolved. Happy to hear that. All right, so final question for you, Mr. Nguyen. So, in the course of your volunteering program, of you joining with your local team and also the Malaysian team, so what was the most valuable lesson you have learned throughout the program?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Um, this is like the ultimate questions that every experiences in life have to answer. So the most valuable lessons that I have learned is that uh, let me tell this. Before the campaign, I have to experience a lot of negative experiences and many difficulties in accommodating to the university life, as I was the sophomore. I'm currently the sophomore, but back then I've just ended my semi online and offline academic year. So I have to struggle a lot. And the decisions to go on the GSVC, the Green Summer Voluntary Campaign in Yabe District, has also been a very, gloomy chances. But after all, the lesson that I have learned is that uh, everything that you do is come from yourself. And the best lesson is that don't be afraid to express who you are and to show the others that you are better than you normally express. So let me put this more clearly. So in the campaigns, we have to do a lot of activities together, so that require communications. And beside professional communications, we have to have, little talk or little conversation with the others to develop our connections or our acquaintances. So we got to know a lot of Malaysian friends, and their stories have been so amazing. And uh, the best thing is that throughout the activities, as I was growing to become more connected to the Malaysians, I felt that their support is so big. That is the best support that I have ever received in my life as friends, because in every in every activities that I have taken part in, and every challenges that we have take on, they have we have always been supportive to the others. And honestly, they have broken many limits of myself to be a better person, a better personality, and you know a better daredevil, because many things that I have never have the courage to do. Now I was encouraged greatly, and I feel it positively to enjoy the process and make the voluntary campaigns less boring and less hesitant, because from the turn of week 2 or week 3, when I gradually get to know more about the Malaysians, uh, I feel that every single day I wake up is another opportunity for me to understand each and every one of the Malaysian friends and the Vietnamese friends. And also, I have always been so much eager to go out to help the community and to assist in the social development projects from the Malaysians that they are aiming for the development of the Vietnamese local. So that is the best lessons that I've learned for myself. Thank you, and give it back to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ngoi. I believe that all of us can learn a thing or two from your experiences, and also from the lesson that you have learned as well. I hope that all of us, including the audience, can benefit from your sharing. Thank you very much. All right. Now, I would like to invite our panelist, the next panelist, Wan Shahme, to share his experience. All right, Mr. Wan Shahme. Okay, so you are selected for an exchange program to the country of Canada. Am I right?
Yes, yes, that is correct.
Okay. So that is quite a prestigious offer and quite a prestigious program that you are selected for. So I believe that all of us are wondering, how was the selection process for you to get into the exchange program?
Thank you, Mr. Abdin. I think it was January of 2021. I received a message from one of my lecturers, Dr. Math, saying that there was actually going to be an exchange student program. So I thought, why not try that one out? Because I was thinking of if I could go somewhere, it would be a wonderful experience. So I did try out, and eventually there were around 200, less than 200 students who applied for that scholarship called SEED scholarship, Canadian Scholarships for Asian Students. Out of 200, so I had to send and write my letter of intent, as well as I had to give my recent results, university results, and create one simple resume. I also had to give the Malaysian English University the MUET result. Okay, so when I gave everything to the committee, I think it was the Office of International Affair. We had to wait And out of almost 200, alhamdulillah, I was shortlisted, one of the 15. There were 15 students who were shortlisted for the program. So out of 15 students, we had to undergo interview session. So we were distributed into 3 groups. So each group will have 5 people going interview. So I thought they were going to ask really difficult questions about Canada and all that, just to know that if we are prepared to, if we had done our research. But actually, they just ask simple questions, like, have you ever been in a situation where you did things out of the box, out of your comfort zone? So I never thought I would, get that questions. I thought it was going to be like more thought-provoking, more sobering questions. Yeah, so that was, they asked 3 questions, only 3 questions, to 15 of us. And I think after less than 1 week, alhamdulillah, I was one of the 3 Malaysians who were selected to go. Yeah, so we went to Lakehead University in Thunder Bay, Ontario. So I went there in December and returned to Malaysia in April. Yeah, in April. It was a beautiful experience to me. Yeah.
So there's only three students that was final candidates to be sent. Oh, okay. So it was really such a tough selection process, I can imagine. Okay, all right. So I believe that while you were in Canada, you also went for a volunteer program. Is that correct?
Yeah, so while I was there, I managed to join two volunteer programs. One is the major one, and one is actually the more relaxed one. But I really enjoyed both immensely. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Very interesting. So, if you don't mind, I would like to ask, where did you go for the volunteer missions?
Thank you very much for the question. For the volunteer programs, first of all, we did what's called that the Ramadan awareness, because when I was there, it was actually I think I did 20 days of fasting in Canada, more or less. So I joined this program called Ramadan Awareness, whereby we set a booth in we call it Agora Students Lounge, and we prepared dates with description of Ramadan, as well as call that the Arabic desserts. I think it was kanafa, maybe not that, but something akin to kanafa. Also, we prepared tea and all that. So that was one. We approached students. I think not students, lecturers, even officers. So to talk to them about Ramadan. So that was the first one. The second one was the share your heritage in terms of cuisine. That one I liked the most, because we did cook and share our Malaysians nasi lemak, as well as the dessert sengkaya. So we gave the students there a taste of because Malaysia is rich in food. So we thought it would be a nice way to share our culture through, of course, culinary cuisines that we have.
All right. So, okay. Somehow I got a little bit hungry from your short description. Okay. Hungry aside, I would like to ask you, during both of your mission for your volunteer programs, what did you do there? So can you give us a brief summary of activities that you did while you were on the volunteer programs?
Oh, okay. So let's go with the food first. So the thing is, when I asked, when the people that asked me where is Malaysia, I know they asked me where am I from. I said I'm from Malaysia. So they said they didn't know where Malaysia was. So when I said Malaysia is next to Singapore and close to Thailand, now they know. So then we 3 of us said that it's not really well known, our country. So then we contacted the international student. I think it was officer. So he said, well, let's do a volunteer activity. So let's call upon who from other countries who would like to cook. So we took part. I think we and Finland, as well as I think Kenya, yes, and also 3 or 4 more countries. So we took part because we wanted to showcase our cultural, our culinary heritage. So that night we cooked sambal with nasi lemak. So we cooked together at my friend's house, and we made, I think, the least spicy sambal I've ever tasted. We did not use a lot of chilies at all, because we know that the Westerners, they do not like spicy. So we cook a lot of sambal. I think nasi lemak for more than 100 packs. And then to counter it, we decide to go with the sweet, tasty sengkaya. Very easy. We, with the bread and the kaya, of course, very, very tasty. So we set up our booth. We carried all the things in the morning. It was freezing, -10, more than that. We carried that all sambal. I'm also thankful that it did not get frozen. So we set up our booth, and the people love sengkaya, especially. Sengkaya, within 1 hour, everybody just rushed over to get that. We were so happy. But nasi lemak, the thing nasi lemak is that they thought it was too spicy. They just wanted to have the rice, which they think was very good, and then they just want a bit of chili oil. Like the oil, they don't want any sambal at all because they thought it was so spicy. They got all red, So we were weird. I thought we did least spicy sambal, but it was okay. So we give them all nasi lemak. I think in less than 2 hours we did sell out our food. Really interesting. And I also did try several of other people's cultural food. I love Finland's dessert. We call it like Finland crab. Yeah, like pancake, super silky, super thin, with strawberry concoction reduction, as well as clotted cream. Very good. And for the second one, the Ramadan one, the first thing is that we set up our booth and all the food that I've mentioned, but we did not feel, the it was not best well received at the time, because I think it was in the morning. So we thought, how would we do to make it interesting? So instead of we set up and waited in our booth, we walked. We walked throughout the campus in the tunnels, and we also went to the Aboriginal offices, to the international offices. So we offered to the lecturers, instead of they came to us, we went to them. So yeah, they were actually shocked that we did fast for 30 days. And actually they thought that we fast until late at night. So then we clarified that it was not until late, it was until Isha, until dawn, until dusk. So they were so excited. Oh, I didn't know that you guys do, celebrate this. So I really enjoyed that they know more about us than before. So that two voluntary activities, which I greatly treasure. Back to you, Mr. Abdin.
Thank you very much. Oh, so luckily the nasi lemak didn't froze over so that they can enjoy it. All of them can enjoy
Yes.
the taste of our cuisine. Okay, all right. So in the midst of the programs, I would like to know if there are exciting occurring, or perhaps better yet, what is the most exciting occurring that happened there?
Exciting occurring that happened there, I think it was the night that we cooked the nasi lemak, because we were not great cooks, so we had to refer to the recipes. I did chopped cucumbers, the easiest thing. I did not really know how to cook then, and so we tried and error with the chilies. That was we slept late actually. I think it was 1 a.m. So it was really enjoyable process. And the second thing is that when we saw the people's faces, they were happy. It was so good. And the second, I think the most exciting is that when people know about Ramadan, because we wanted to raise awareness. So when their eyes light up, oh, I didn't know that you did this. I think, yeah, that is because we managed to share something that we know, and also they appreciate what we actually celebrate. So I was so happy when that happened. Yeah.
All right, all right. Okay. So you were the programs were in Canada, right? I believe it
Yeah.
was around the campus as well.
Oh
So
yes.
I would like to ask if there are any challenges that you faced while you were in the middle of the program.
Oh, I think the most challenging thing is, of course, time management, because I went there as a student just studying English for 4 months. So the thing is, my schedule was pretty tight. I had classes at the time because it was online, so I did have some more online classes in UiTM. So I had to stay up until 3 a.m. and then join Canadian class at 10 a.m. So did not have enough sleep, but it was okay. So we had to really find the time. So luckily, all of us were available. So we found the time, so that we overcame that challenge. For the cooking one, and for the Ramadan one, the challenge was when we set up our booth. I believe that it was not really that well received. So I don't know why. Maybe because it was the location was not that inviting. So the challenge is we feel that, oh, we were not going to distribute the dates. So that was the initial challenge, but we adapted, we changed our method. So yeah, in the end, everything went well. All the dates were, taken, and all the information were conveyed. So yeah, challenges is important, but I think it's more important how we overcame the challenges. Yeah.
Okay. I'm happy to hear that it was resolved, and it was a very good adaptation on your part for that program. So yeah, massive props to you. Okay. So, Washami, one last question. What was the most valuable lesson that you have learned while you are participating in the program?
The most valuable lesson to me is connecting with people, because before I went there, I was actually quite a shy person, meaning I don't really conversing with new people, it's not really my forte. So when I went there, when I met lots of people, right, so I managed to connect with them on a on a different level. So when I went to Finland's booth and I shared the pancake, right, I said in Malaysia we have this, we call it lempeng, other way. So I think, yeah, we connected there on food. And then I went to India, Indian booth, so they did curry. So I said Malaysia has its own curry as well, because we love curry there and tandoori and all that. So we connected. So I like to see their eyes when something connect between us human beings, right? Even though we speak different language, we come from different countries. So I love that when we manage to get something in common, speaking, as well as actually communicating with them. That is the most valuable lesson. So I think I'm a better listener and I'm better communicator, because we appreciate what is said, and so they appreciate what we are saying. So I think connecting as well as making friends are what I think the most valuable lesson that I gained throughout the 4 months. I managed to make friends with many people from Mexico, Venezuela, America. So yeah, many experience with many demographic background, something that I value, I think, until forever.
All right. Okay. That is a very good sharing. Definitely a valuable lesson that you learned. And also, I hope that all of us can benefit from that sharing as well. I'm also very interested to see that all of them, somehow, we are so very different, all of us humans. We are very different. We have come from different countries, from different places, but somehow we can unite on food. So that is a very interesting concept and interesting thing to be acknowledged about. All right, thank you very much, Wan Shahmi, for your sharing. Okay, so I would like to invite our last panelist for the sharing session. So, Miss Damia Patricia, are you here with us?
Hello, yes, I am. I'm so sorry for the
All
technical
right.
issue just now.
Okay, I hope you are doing fine. Okay, so are you
Damn.
ready with the set of the questions?
Yes, and I just want to
Okay.
say like shout out to our moderator for the good save and thank you Nizam, sorry Nigel, for assisting our program today. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, all right. Okay, so let's get things rolling. So, Miss Damia, you are one of the candidates that were selected by YSS, Yayasan Sukarelawan Siswa, to be sent to Vietnam for a volunteer mission. So, I believe the selection process is somehow similar to Mr. Nguyen's way. So, I would like to know if there are distinctions. So, how was the selection process for you?
Okay, thank you for the question. Okay, so I think it was somewhere in May that I found this one status, like a poster about finding volunteers for these few places. It was under UiTM wording. They were trying to find volunteers to send off to Sabah, Sarawak Mission, Vietnam, and also Laos. So I was like, this is a good opportunity for me to start volunteering again and going to other places rather than just in Selangor where I live. So one day I asked my parents, can I go, for this place, for this volunteering program because I'm quite interested to know about this. And they were like, yeah, sure, but you can only choose Sabah Sarawak, which is in Malaysia. But God didn't give me a choice. And I got Vietnam. Actually, I was called out for the interview, and the interview selection was based on Google Form application, if I'm not mistaken. And then we were grouped into a group of 4 or 5 for the interview, and they asked us a set of questions about your background, your upbringing, about which mission would you like to go. And for your information, I bring this everywhere. If you can see, like my number for my interview, 0335, it's actually my candidate number. Yeah. at the back of my phone cover, and Vietnam dong. I keep them together.
Oh,
Yeah, and then so it was just an interview with 100 more candidates around the Malaysia. So after the interview, I was asked about which mission would I like to join and why, the reason, what's the reason, and if there any volunteering experience before. And then after a few weeks, I got shortlisted to go for the Vietnam mission, which is the longest one because for Sabah Sarawak, if I'm not mistaken, it would last for 2 weeks, but Vietnam, it's for a month. And when I got the call that it was like, hello, may I speak to them about the show? And I was like, yeah, I'm speaking. And one of the officers were like, so you got the mission to Vietnam, and I was like, what? No way! And then I was thinking, should I go? Should I tell my parents? And because I'm the only daughter in the house, so knowing my parents, they might not let me go. So I told my parents once they got home, and my dad said, "Yeah, sure, why not? You already got the name, you're already shortlisted." So I was like, "Is this it? Is this my first time going abroad?" So that's that. So I got my passport settled. It was a hustle because I need to go back and forth, and I need to do my assignment earlier. Um, yeah, all the health screening and everything, and there was I in Vietnam with my friends. Oh, before that, we had to spend 3 days at UKM for a pre-departure training where our officers expose us about the do's and don'ts, the culture there, and also about the safety, what to do there. And you are going to be grouped into a group of 18, 17 people there, and you're going to live with all of them at the places designated for you. So for me, I was put in Hip Phuc commune with my beloved Hip Phuc family. Okay. Yeah, that's the question.
all right. I'm very excited to hear that story from you. Oh, okay. It seems like a very exciting process that you went under through for the selection. Okay, okay, all right. So, I believe that you, of course, it's obviously, it has been said that you went to Vietnam. But if I am allowed to know, where did you go specifically for that mission?
Okay, for me, I was designated to go to a hip foot commune. There are like they have districts there, and each district has its own commune. So we were put at the hip foot commune. If you want to spell, it's HIEP space PHUOC commune. Yeah. Out of 72 volunteers sent there, we were grouped into a group of 18, and we were sent to four different places. And I was with 17 other members along with our counterparts. Counterparts are actually student volunteers from Vietnam. As for our commune, we got the Foreign Trade University, which one of it is Mr. Nizam, Mr. Nigel, along with us. So yeah, we actually live in a host family house in the Hipfoot commune, and our host family name is Melek. Yeah, shout out to Melek. Okay.
Okay, all right. So, when you were in the commune, it was can you help me with the pronunciation? Hifok?
Hipfoot. Hipfoot.
Hifok. Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. I apologize. But so for the Hifok commune, so what did you do there while you were in the program?
We had we were separated into six sub groups, which according to the pillars, like we have education, we have social impact, we have community development, we have oh my god, I'm starting to forget another three, but it's just like we are put into small groups. Uh, Sorry. So I was on the education pillar. We were focusing more on the children's education. We were put at this one school called Dong Van Luk, if I'm not mistaken. That's how we pronounce it. So we had a few projects like the mini library. We had device literary classes with the kids, and then we have English fun class. We had a few other activities focusing more on the kids. As for the community development, we had this one project called road upgrading, where we help the people live in the alley, Hamlet Tree, to upgrade the road, because before this, when it is pouring rain, it could have like flood for like 3 to 4 days. It takes 3 to 4 days for the water to sink down. So when we upgraded the road, it's like higher a bit, so it's less likely to get flooded again. Yeah, that's just the brief summary. For more projects, I will be explaining on the next slot. Stay tuned. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Damia, for that brief summary. Okay, so I would like to ask you, just like our previous panelists just now, there were some exciting occurrences that happened throughout all of the programs. So I would like to ask, on your view, what is the most exciting occurrence that happened to you while you are in the volunteering mission?
I think one of it is being able to bond with them, because I never had Vietnamese friends before. So being able to live with them, eat with them, and do all the projects together, somehow like create the bonding together. And I got to learn their culture. And I was shocked actually, because we have a lot of similarities. Perhaps because we are from Asian countries, we have a lot of similarities on the do's and don'ts, and we actually have a lot of adverbs or idioms that are quite alike with us. I learned it from one of the counterparts while we were, beautifying the mini library. Suddenly, we were talking about, hey, do you know like any adverbs like in Vietnamese? And she was like, yeah, I do. And we were talking about adverbs for like almost an hour. Yeah. So the most exciting, back to the question, sorry. The most exciting occurring that happened was the bonding. We got to learn their culture, and we got to learn about the people there. I love how we have a lot of similarities in terms of celebrations, in terms of how we communicate with one another, and basically that's that. We got to learn their culture, and I like that.
Okay, all right. It's very exciting. Um, yeah, and somehow knowing new people is very exciting. Although we just naturally we're
Mr.
just
Moderator, are you there?
hello, um, hello, hello. Okay, never mind. Okay, so we would like to. Okay, sorry for that technical issues just now. Okay, so we would like to continue with your sharing, Miss Damia. So, what are the challenges that you face while you were volunteering for the program just now?
Hello,
Hello, Miss Damia, are you here with us?
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello.
Hello, hello, Miss Damia, are you here with us? Hello. Okay, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, it seems that Miss Damia is having a technical issue. So, it's all right. Never mind. We'll continue with the next slot. Okay, don't worry. So, okay, now that we have heard from our panelists, they have shared very interesting experiences and stories, and listening to their stories makes me want to experience all these great chances by myself. It is great to know that there are platforms where you can contribute to society while exploring your potential. I pray that when the right time comes, we'll be able to experience volunteering in our beloved country. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we have diligently heard stories and sharings from our honored volunteers. But hearing is just an appetizer if you want to experience the wholesomeness of the volunteering program. Therefore, why not complete the feast with visual treats from the panelists' media? Perhaps we can start with our first panelist on her sharing. All right, so I will start with one Shahmi. All right, so um, would you like to share some of the media that you have provided for us tonight?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Moderator, Mr. Abdin. Yeah, before I start, the thing about me is that this is something that I have to improve on is that I don't take enough pictures. All right, so I hope that with the limited pictures I have here, I hope we can actually see the essence of what we did when I did the two volunteer activities there. Okay, so let's begin with the first one. If we would like to. Okay, so this is a food sharing festivity that we did. It looked rather, few. The food is not enough, but I think we put the rest of the food under the table. Actually, I was dressed in beanie and very, like thick coat is because it was really freezing because Canada was snowing. Unfortunately, when we went to in December, right, it was one of the worst winters that Canada has ever had. So the temperature dropped until I suppose 2 nights. I couldn't sleep because the temperature dropped to -50. So that day, I suppose it was, I think, in January. The January temperature was between -10 and -20. So yeah, between that. So it was really cold and it was really freezing. So I was even grateful that I made it to the location. So as you can see here, we had the nasi lemak at my right, as well as we have Sankaya there. So we prepared. So this was actually the day of the festivity. I think the people sitting. At my back actually is Finland, I suppose. Yeah, if you can see the flag over there, yeah, it was actually the Finland table. So I went to that table after that, after we're done with our food. So this is actually apart from sharing food, actually some of the Indian students they did perform. They sung their like their famous songs. Also Venezuelan students also sing their famous songs, but we Malaysian, I don't know why we were so shy, I think, to sing any song, maybe because we have no talents, but I thought we should have sang, we should have done something. But it was really interesting. Yeah, we wrapped our wonderful jalur gemilang there, and we sat the interns. I was the first one to wait because afterwards I have to go to class and then I came back again. So let's move on to the second picture. Now this one is Ramadan Mubarak. This one is organized, I think, by LUMSA. We call it Lake Head University because I went to Lake Head University, Muslim Student Association. So this is the Agora. It's really big. It has, as you can see, the background. It has Aboriginal people's arts. They painted because Canada has a lot of Aboriginal, like indigenous people. I didn't know it when I went there, but we, as much as US, they have lots of indigenous people, and the culture there is very rich in terms of food, in terms of actually paintings and arts, of course. The Agora here is a very big building where students actually sit and have a good rest. They sell Starbucks, and also they have student centers like lounges as well as any offices if you are in need of some guidance regarding your studies, regarding your, how you are adapting in this climate, because Malaysia is very hot and humid. So imagine the shock I was through when I landed in Canada in Montreal in December. The temperature was -6. Exciting at first, but after several days, and when I flew to Thunder Bay, this is Thunder Bay. Thunder Bay is the up north, so meaning it is the coldest, one of the coldest places that we could have been. Yeah, so yeah, as you can see here, that's my friend from Pakistan. Yeah, she's from Pakistan. She's preparing. She's like planning, preparing for people to go to the booth. If you go to the next slide, please. Okay, so these are the food. So we have dates here. If you can see, two big trays, or we have lots more. We have many more trays that we stored in the musalla, in the prayer rooms, because we had prayer rooms. Because the student association, they thought, how do we do Friday prayers? So they did, allocate one room that we actually go for Friday prayer. So we kept, I think, 3 more or 4 more trees down there. So we took the first 2 from the basement. The prayer room was in the basement, and then we placed it over there. And yeah, the one that I think the dates on the sticks, right? We call it wrapped dates. We wrapped it with, I think, some sweets. This is how if I'm not mistaken, the Arabic people eat their date. Also, we have here the dessert, the Arabic dessert, but I'm not sure what it called. I think it's not kunafa, something else, but it is actually it's very delicious. Okay, so we waited for people to go there, and we explained to them what Ramadan is. We take turns. Some of us are from Pakistan, some are from Saudi, and even there are Canadian Muslims, like from Canada, Canadians who embrace Muslims. So we're very excited to know one another there, one's culture, and on this particular booth. Okay, next picture, if you may. We have also some tea for the people to enjoy while listening to the explanation. Tea, just to have fun while listening to our talk. Like I said, we did go through the tunnels and throughout the university to spread the awareness. We did go to our language center, the library, and many more places, which I think, you know, enabled us to meet many people. Because instead of they approach us, I think the best way is we approach them when we want to make something known, right? So yeah, luckily my friend and I thought of that, and we were brave enough to go and approach people. So the result was, I think, was very excellent. Yeah, at the end of the day. Yeah, next picture, if you may. Sweets and desserts. Yeah, as I've told before. Yeah, some Arabic dessert. This is what we did. In the end, we went around, is what I said just now. So to tell you the truth, this event actually happened for 2 days. Yeah, for 2 days. It is a 2-day event. I forgot to mention. So we went there. We started at 10 a.m. and ended at 4. For the second day, we started at 10 but ended at 2 because second day we had to wrap things up rather quickly. Yeah, afterwards, and after this particular program, we did dinner before Ramadan, where we were served that one. We were served kunafa, very good, and we heard Quran recitation, and we heard a sermon about Ramadan. So actually, non-Muslims were also invited. I had my friend, Chinese Canadian, also joined to know more, because it's about sharing culture. I also went to an Indian celebration, no, not celebration, Indian cultural sharing, where they painted, colors. It's not something, I think, a festival of color that I went to. So we were very excited to know about our cultures. So yeah, so the dinner was excellent. Yeah, we met new friends, and also we prepared for Ramadan, because Ramadan there actually it began early. I had to fast, I think it's for 14 hours. Malaysia we did 11, so Canada we had 3 more. But because it was not really hot, it was rather freezing, so I did not feel hungry. No, I did not feel thirsty, but rather hungry, because when you are cold, you want to eat a lot more, so we had to restrain ourselves. The breakfast was, I think, 8:30 p.m. So yeah, very long. So yeah, challenging but also fun, because it's a new setting. So we did a new setting. Is there any more pictures? So I think that's all from my sharing session. I think I'm sorry for not taking more pictures, but I hope that you can get the essence of what we did there on our two volunteer activities that we did, which to me is one of the precious moments when I was there. So thank you very much. Back to you, moderator.
Okay, all right. So, Mr. Washame, I hope you can, yeah. May I have you for a while? Okay. So, I would like to ask 2 questions. So, the first question: how was the students' reaction? How was your campus mates' reaction to the food, the booth, and to the exposure of Ramadan itself?
Oh, they did the response, I mean, very well, because Canadians, they are very open-minded in a way that they're very kind. I remember several times when I was actually hurrying to the class. It was snowing, so I had to, walk slowly. So they actually held the door for me more than once. They held the door for me when they, in fact, didn't have to. So I said, "Thank you very much. Are you coming?" They said, I said, "Yes, I'm coming. Thank you very much." So the students are very friendly and they're very open-minded. I remember when we I performed Friday prayer at a mosque. So one woman pull over and said, "Have a good one, have a good day." So they are very open-minded, and they're very kind people and very polite. Even if customer service there, a very good hospitality. When we going to pay something at Walmart or something, they always start with, "Hi sir, good morning or good evening. How's your day?" So they ask us first. They're very polite and very very kind people. So it's no surprise that they reacted so well, because they say, oh, I didn't know that you have to fast. I didn't know that. Some of them, the interesting thing is my housemates. One of my housemates is from Jamaica, so he offered me bacon. Okay, so I said, oh, I'm sorry, but I am Muslim. So Muslims, we don't eat pork and pig. Also, he said, oh, I didn't know that. So it's something that we know, and we share, and they accept as well. So very, very kind and open-minded people, and the reactions suggested their open-mindedness.
All right. Okay, that's very pleasant to hear. Very heartwarming, actually. So, okay, last question for you before we move on. So, if I may ask you, what is the one word that you would describe your feelings while you are conducting the program?
One word. I think if I have to pick now off the top of my head, I would go with joyous. Yeah, it was actually pure joy. I never thought that that before that meeting people could be such fun and talking could be such fun, but then when I went through all that, I think joyous is the best word to represent my feelings doing volunteer, because unlike Mr. Nigel, as Miss Damia, right, they did paint school and repaint bridges and all that. I was so amazed to hear that my volunteer activities is more about talking, more about connecting with people. Yeah, so in a way I envy them, because they do lots of, I think, fun activities connecting with primary. But for my activities, we more about talking and connecting with people, sharing, more about sharing. So the one feeling that I can take from the experience is joyous, how fun, and I will remember it. Talking, connecting, as well as making friends and share our cultures. Oh, how vast, no matter how vastly different, we can, respect. That is very important to me.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Wanshahme, on your sharing. Okay. And also thank you for the media that you shared with us just now. Thank you very much for that. We were very delighted to see the things that, because we were not there. So by sharing pictures and your media and also your descriptions, they're very vivid. And now I want to go to Canada. I would like to experience it for myself. It's very exciting. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Wanshahme. Okay, so I think we can have our next panelist, Miss Damia Batrisha. Are you okay? Are you there?
Hello, I'm so sorry again for the technical issues.
Okay.
It's online,
Do-
sometimes it happens, but thank you again, Mr. Moderator, for the save. Good one.
Okay. Okay. Don't worry, Miss Damia. Sorry. Don't worry, Miss Damia. Things happen. Don't worry. Okay. So we would like to hear your piece of the story. Do you have anything for us tonight?
I think I would like to answer another two questions just now that left, but I'm just gonna like summarize it. Okay. Um, One of the most challenging thing that I faced there was like miscommunication among ourselves. Like during our stay there, we have weekly leader, so I was the third week's leader, and during my leading week we had like a lot of issues, most probably came from me, like miscommunication. And sometimes I was being very indecisive because I have to make decisions, but I have to please you know make sure that everyone's needs is satisfied. Somehow at the end of the day, the reality is that we can never satisfy everyone. So you have to pick which decision that is most worth to satisfy this kind of people. It depends. You have to read the room. Yeah.
All right. So okay. So one of the leftover questions just now, the most valuable lesson that you have learned while you are in the program.
To appreciate people, and also sometimes, okay, this is like the most valuable one. Sometimes when you think you know yourself, you know your limits, your potentials, when you are being put on some situations that you have never faced before, like very challenging ones, somehow it brings out the potentials that you never knew you had, the limits that you never knew you had, and you somehow get to bring the version of you that you never knew you had. So the most valuable lesson that I've learned would be whatever obstacle that you are being put through, just face it, because you will get to know yourself even more. So don't be afraid, just go through it, and things will always pass because the time is always ticking. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Miss Dalmia, for that sharing. Okay, so you've shared your thoughts, you shared your very well articulated, wise thoughts. So I reckon you have something for us, something else for us tonight. So a visual treat from
Sure.
you, maybe?
Of course. All right. Technical, can you play the slides? Yeah, so hi, my name is Tama Batusha binti Rizal. Shout out to my parents for giving me the name. Next slide, please. Okay, all right. So here is my HipFork team members. All 18 of us. If you could see, they're from some of them are from UPSI, some of them from UTM, UTHM, and UiTM, of course, and college. What do you call that? College. Puguruan, Maktab Puguruan, yes, and some other more. I cannot name all because you guys are a lot. Okay, and together with us, this was the day when we got our alumni certificates. We all have our own alumni number, and for me, it's YSS1493. Yeah. Yeah, and then we are with the All Star, YSS All Star, and the CEO. Okay, thank you. Next, they are the people that I live together with for a month. And this is the day we went to the Consulate General of Malaysia's office together with our counterpart. We just had our ASEAN Day celebration. Oh, if you could spot me, the one in red down there, I was wearing ao yai, which is Vietnam traditional wear for women. Yeah. Actually, we got those ao yai from our host family, Malek. She gave us the ao yai. Yeah. Okay, next. These are the 10 UiTM representatives that got the chance to go to Vietnam for a month. This was during the closing ceremony, if I'm not mistaken. Um, we only had like 10 of us came from UiTM, Puncak Alam, Sungai Buloh, Sarawak, and also Shah Alam. Yeah, together with Encik Ku. Yeah. Next. And this is the weekly leaders. The two in blue and the one on the bottom left is our Vietnamese counterpart leader. They had helped us a lot in our journey. They had helped us in communicating with the locals there. They helped easing up our job there, projects, and they help us together to do and finish up all the projects there. And if you could see, from the one holding the water bottle is the first week leader, Ama. The next to him is Haikal, from UPSI. Sorry, from Uniza. I'm sorry. It's the second week leader, and I'm the third leader. And the last one is Faiz. Yeah, and shout out to Lina, Viet, and also Lee Vi. Okay, V. We call them V. Okay, for leading the weeks. Yeah, helping us through a lot. Next slide. And this is the rest of us with our very own counterpart at the Consulate General of Malaysia's office after the ASEAN Day celebration. We got together to take a picture and also a snippet of, if I'm not mistaken, it was ASEAN Day. We had to record like a short clip video of saying like ASEAN Day. Yeah. Next. Okay, by the way, guys, sorry, I just read the comment. We have UPSI, we have UiTM, UPM, UCMI, and UTHM, USM, Uniza, Polytechnic, IPG, and everything. Thank you, guys. Okay, back to the slides. So this is our host family. Her name is Malek. She's around 62 years old. She had a few other batches of YSS alumni. for the accommodation there. Yeah, so that's where we live for a month at her house. Next slide. Well, for your information, Malek means like is her name. Ma is like mother. So calling her Malek, it's like mother like. Yeah, calling her mother. She's very caring, very heartwarming person. So here is our usual dinner where we have our dinner, and that's actually where we have our lunch, breakfast, and dinner. We have to cook by ourselves. So usually we have our meals together with our counterpart. If you could see at the back there, so the front row we keep it the halal section. The back there not so much halal, you know. Yeah, it's very common for us to be having dinner together almost every night after all the projects done. We have to come back home around 6:30. That's quite like the curfew. Yeah. Next. Okay, so this is one of the activities that we did there. It's the gotong royong, or we call them like cleaning up together. So we have to clean up a residential area around the hip foot called, sorry if I pronounced this wrong, Hem Tan Nien. Maybe Mr. Nizam can help me later. So we just clean up that area, help around the people there, together with the mobile police. Yeah. Next slide. This is one of our another project, which is the device literary, where we got the children to get familiar with the devices for educational purpose. We taught them about how to use some certain features on iPad, on laptop, and about the PowerPoint, if I'm not mistaken. And those are the kids, primary school, around 6 to 10 years old. We had a lot of fun, even though we had like a barrier in language because most of the kids are not very familiar with English. However, we had our very helpful counterparts with us in each classes, in each session, for to help us to explain in Vietnam. So somehow we learned a few bits of Vietnamese, and we played a few games with them during their recess. Yeah, it was actually during their summer classes. It's like kelas tambahan in Malay, where they prep these students before the next term coming up. Yeah. Next is the cultural evening, where we spent the evening exchanging our cuisine. So we tried their Vietnamese roll, and we also had we made for them kuih Melaka and chuchur, which they like it very much, and we played a few games afterwards. Yeah, that's our counterpart. Love you guys so much. Next slide. Okay, and that was during Children's Day. We had storytelling competition. We played a lot of games with them. We even had Zumba in the morning. If you could see, that's my friend Husna. She was measuring the kids' height because we were measuring about their health skill. Yeah. Thank you. Next. And this is one of our big projects, which is the mini library upgrades. We help the school in beautifying the mini library for the kids to have a more convenient space for them to have outdoor activities at the library. So yeah, we painted the murals there, and those are the pictures during the day where we officiate the mini library. So they got to use the mini library during the recess time. Yeah. Next up, this is our biggest project, if I'm not mistaken. It's the road upgrading together with the mobile police at the LE11 Hamlet 3. That's the name of the place. There we have our mobile police, our counterpart, and Miss Shafa from UTHM. Yeah, we help them, like we help each other in upgrading the road. Yep. Next. This is one of the preparations. When we were in Vietnam, it was actually during our week 14, if I'm not mistaken. So we still had our final examination, final year papers to attend to, and we had to what do you call that, submit our assignment. So there were days where we had to stay home for a while to get our assignments done. Yeah, we had to have our assignments done. We have to take all the examinations there together with our friends. And yeah, some days we had to prepare for our projects. Yeah. Next. This is the last one, which is on the ASEAN Day. We have Jay and Sashi representing our commune, with Arisha and Haikal back there. They had to like do a fashion show, like showing our costume, our not costume, our traditional costume. Yeah, and Jay actually won best the best man of the day for the ASEAN Day. Even though we had like a few incidents there, we were dancing. Just keep it around us, okay? We were dancing, and then something happened. It's like about the stage, and poor Jay. It was very unfortunate to him because I think he was injured for that day, so he took a few days off from the project. But we came back stronger, and he won the competition. Yay! Shout out to Jay. Okay, I think that's all from me. I think. Can I see the next slide? Yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Miss Damia. That was, by the looks of the picture, it was a very heartwarming, very adorable, and I have to say, you look very striking in that Aoyai outfit. Actually, it was a
Thank you.
striking red, and you were serving looks, if I may
Yes,
say.
serving.
All right. So, in the midst of all of that, I was told that you were actually preparing for the final exam and the assignments, as well as the other volunteers as well. So, I would like to ask you just one question, and I think in just maybe one or two words, what are the words that you would choose to describe your experience while you were in that mission, in the volunteer mission?
Eye opening, heartwarming. Done.
All
Yeah.
right, you nailed it. Okay, so yes, thank you very much, Ms. Damia, for that sharing. I believe that all the good deeds, all the volunteer missions that you did, all the uh, itinerary, and all the things that you did with the team as well, they are. I hope they are. You are happy. I hope the team are happy as well, and I can see that it bring benefits, many benefits to the commune as well. So shout out to all of you, you and your team, as well as the Vietnam counterparts. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you very much.
and
Oh, okay.
sorry if you could see on the comment section, they are actually my hipfolk commune friends. You have Jeremiah, Faris, Fahana, Amar, Shafawati. Everyone is here actually. Yeah.
I
Thank you
see. So the
guys.
whole family is here. Okay, thank you very
Yeah.
much for attending. And I think if Jay is here, my condolences to you. But you guys won the dance competition, right? So yeah, I think that pays off. Your hard work pays off. So yeah, shout out to all of you guys. Congratulations. Okay, all right. So thank you very much, Miss Damia. So I know that the volunteer mission in Vietnam was actually a two-sided coin. So what if we hear and see the visual traits from the other side of the coin? So I invite Mr. Nguyen to share his bit. So Mr. Nguyen, are you here? Or should I call you Mr. Nizam because apparently there's a pet name for you now from all the Malaysian counterparts.
Yeah.
All right. So yes, please share your piece of the story, Mr. Nguyen.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Sorry, I was having like a bunch of laughter because we were having like a family reunion on the live channel. So I think to begin with the you know imagery presentations of mine, I would like to make a big shout out to everyone that have been involved in this journey as a whole, from the Foreign Trade University VSA, the Youth Union, and the officers, and as well as from the Malaysian side that Ministries of Educations, the Consulate General Office, the YSS, and the Malaysian Friends, and everyone have been involved for making this opportunity happen. So I would like to scroll a little bit because most of the picture kept is not taken by me because as you guys may not know, the Malaysian students have to do daily report every single day about their daily activities and their daily achievement. But the Vietnamese students don't have to do that. Were more we were less strict we were less stricter than that. So I will try to focus on the first things that I have done and the best thing that I've got. So to begin with, that is the first manual project that we take part in. So I was in the repainting the bridge, the Mungyu Bridge, uh, the Mungyu Bridge, with the Malaysian male counterpart, including Mr. Faris, Mr. Ayman, Mr. Amar, and yeah, there's many more. But by the time taking the picture, they were not there. So make a big shout out to you, Sai. Um, so for a little fact, this occasion is when I got to be close to Mr. Amar, Mr. Muhammad Amr Ramdan, one of my favorite uh, Malaysians volunteer student. Yeah, so and that little girl in the middle is one of the local. So we just want to say that through this picture, a lot of things could be referred to it that the happiness and the assistance that we have been providing for the community is simple and could humbly appreciate it in every state that we experience. Yeah, so can we go to the next picture? Okay, so this next picture, this is my first Malaysian meal. This one is when we have another activity, but the Malaysians are expecting were expecting their officer, who is, I recall, Mr. Max, and in that afternoon I was assigned to be in charge of the Malaysian friends in case they need any help. So to my amazement, they invited me and my female Vietnamese counterpart to have a Malaysian dinner with them, and that was the night I was encouraged to use my hand properly to eat food, especially my right hand, and to enjoy the Islam culture and the Malaysian culture. Yeah. So coming to the next picture. Okay, so this is the MHOW painting. As I was mentioning before, MHOW painting is the project that I lead. But basically, I was just observing and encouraging everyone to do their job. So I just want to put it here to show that everyone was happy, even though you guys can see that the sun is burning and the condition of the house was not that good. But every bit that we help and every bit that we have done is has its own meaning to to make the other life better. And as you guys can see, the old women in the middle in the back is the you know the mother hero who has served in the war, and yeah, we provide the assistance for repainting her house, and we have some conversation with her to understand her situations and to understand the living condition of her. Okay, so now we're gonna move to the next image. So this is I call it Alma voice. Sorry for the inappropriate name, but this is in the back of the house where we paint. So as you guys can see on the wall is that Alma, that is Alma on the left, Mr. Faiz Yazid in the middle, and I was on the right. So I want to make a big shout out to these two boys, to these big brothers, to for making my experience more special and more rewarding. Yeah, so I just want to make a big shout out to them and for all the assistance and the support that they have of these two guys and their friends have made to me and for the community of Vietnam to be developed. Yeah, so now we can continue to the next picture. Uh, so this is a selfie with me, Alma on the left, and Faiz, and also Gamya. And the main attention was drawn to the little animal in the middle. To the fellow Muslims of Malaysia, or to the Muslim friends that I have, or everyone that is watching this. This is not inappropriate in any way religiously. This is just we just showing a little animal that we call babizam in Vietnam. That is, he is raised and he's kept near our host house. So the best thing that I can tell you guys from this picture is that it shows that how strong and how consolidate the connections of the Malaysians and the surrounding community, so that they learn and to accept, and they learn to you see the simple beauty of the surrounding. So this was taken on the occasion that we are leaving the place, but when I was busy walking back and forth to packing up my stuff and wrapping up everything, these two people just called me out of nowhere to take this picture of this cute little brother. Okay. So coming to the next photo, I call this is the family photo of at the Consulate General Office. On that day, we have an Asian Day hosted by the YSS and the Ministries of Education of Malaysia, and as well as the Consulate General Office, who provided us with appreciation for the contributions in the campaign. And this photo was taken with the two teams, the local team and the international team. And there is also the appearance of one special guest in the back on the right. That is Mr. Rooney, one all-star officer from the YSS. And I would love to make a big shout out to Mr. Rooney for embracing our culture and providing opportunities for the Malaysian students to be able to connect with Vietnamese values and culture. Yes. And yeah, we're gonna come to the last media. So can you move to the last media, please? The last media. Okay. Uh, okay. To be honest, I would like to firstly give my big credit to the one that who recorded this video, and to Mr. Faizazis for collecting it for me to use, and all of the the organizers for creating an opportunity for me to bring this video to the world. Um, and one more important thing is that, as you guys can see, uh, all of the media that I have presented to you is that there is no picture that I was alone. I was always accompanied by a group of people, or all of the people, including the Malaysian friends, the Vietnamese friends, and also every agencies or the parties that have been supporting for our cause. And what I want to say is that, like I was saying earlier in the sharing, is that whatever the best thing that I have learned from this campaign is whatever I do or whatever you do, believe in yourself and just believe in who you are, so that there will always be people available, or there will always be people who gonna be there for you to support your development. And before I coming to my closure, I would like to quote Mr. Muhammad Gandhi, is that the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. So, to other acquaintances that I have made, and to other people that I have met but haven't got the opportunity to communicate it, uh, I would like to make a tribute to all of you for making my life and my my experiences become more special in some way or another. As I will always be rooting for you, and I will always be there supporting for you, whatever happens in the future. And I would like to say, without no offense, is that alhamdulillah for this opportunity to be a part of, and this volunteerism, and to be a part of this journey. So that is all I want to say, and I want to give the floor back to Mr. Moderator.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Nguyen, for that very heartwarming and heart-touching words as well. That was very nice of you to take into consideration a lot of the cultural differences. Um, and like you said, none of the pictures that you presented to us today was you were alone in the picture. No pictures showed that you were alone. In fact, all of you were together in this program together, working together to build a better world for the commune there. So yeah, I don't know why, but I feel I'm not part of the team, but I feel very tearful as well. We call it in Malaysia, we call it rasa sabak. So you feel like we want to cry, right? But yeah, but thank you very much for your sharing, Mr. Nguyen. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was fantastic. A very good sharing from all of our panelists today. I'm certainly sure now that all of us are very much enlightened to the volunteering program. So before we part ways, we would like the panelists to give your last words. We can start with Miss Damia. So, Miss Damia, is there any last words from you that you would like to share with all of us before we part our ways?
Hi. I got very teary because like Nigel was saying about like none of the pictures he was alone. Yeah. I was there when, when it was frustrating, when it was sad, when I miss my mom, when I miss my parents. And we were, going through everything together. Like those nights when we had our meetings and whatnot, we were crying because fighting over stuff, a lot of things. Oh my god. Okay. Anyway, I just want to say thank you so much for moderator, for the team, for technical especially. For the vice director, for everyone for making this event a success one. And thank you so much for my Hitfoot commune family for coming. And not to forget our second and third panelists, Wan Shamir and also Nizam, for coming over, for accepting our invitation to come over. And thank you so much, Yayasan Sukarlawan Siswa, for giving me the opportunity to broaden my experience in volunteering. Um, Shout out to Razlan, Mama, Rezi, for being a very slay man. Okay. And again, thank you so much. And if you want to know more about volunteering platforms, you can go to Instagram, Sukarelawan YSS, where you can start volunteering. And I hope that our session tonight would at least spark um, volunteering fires in your heart. Yeah, eating fires, man. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for coming tonight. And thank you, moderator. That's all from me. Bye.
All right. Thank you, Miss Damia, for the last words. We hope that more people are inspired to contribute to society, regardless with volunteerism. Volunteerism is one of the ways to give back to the society. So thank you very much for your last words. So we've heard very wise words from Mr. Nguyen just now, but maybe he has one last sentence that Mr. Nguyen would like to share with us. So any last words from you, Mr. Nguyen?
Oh, okay. Thank you, Mr. Moderator and Damia. So I was very impressed by how everyone reacted to my speech. So for my last word, I just want to say that uh, outside, even outside volunteerism or whatever you do in life, just be sometimes be bold and sometimes be decisive. Just don't be hesitant to seize your dream or seize your goals, because as I always been saying, you will be supported somehow or another way, and yeah, just be who you are in this world, and you will be accepted. And let me see. And I was also I just wanted to say some Malaysian word is that terima kasih for everyone has been making this opportunity for the program to be broadcasted, and for everyone have been involved in this program to have good health, to be blessed, and to have a great journey forward. Yeah, so that is all I want to say.
All right, Mr. Nguyen, and I would like to say terima kasih to you too for sharing your insightful views. And it is great to be able to spend the night talking to you and listening to your insightful views. Thank you very much for sharing. All right, last but not least, last words from Mr. Wan Shahme. Wan Shahme, would you like to share your last words with us?
I think for me, thank you very much, moderator Mr. Abdin, for moderating our show tonight, and thank you so much for Miss Damia for inviting me into this wonderful speech. Thank you so much, Mr. Nigel, for sharing wonderful, your fruitful, and also wonderful experiences, which I do actually amaze. It's so amazing. And also, thank you to all the team for making this a success. Thank you also for the viewers who take their time off to watch our discussion. And my last word is, regarding volunteerism, if there is anything and something that you can give, let's give back. Let's give what we can. Trust me, then the outcome will be worthwhile. So that's all from me. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Wanshame, for that. Thank you so much. I believe that the sharing tonight has sparked new passion in the audience to start volunteering. We hope to be able to interact with all of you again. Thank you very much, our dear panelists. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we end our ceremony today, it will not be complete without a speech by our capable and responsible Vice Program Director. Therefore, let's welcome our amazing and scintillating Vice Program Director, Nur Aisha Nabilah binti Shaufiq Izani. The floor is all yours, Aisha.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you to our moderator Shakirin for giving me this opportunity. Okay, I know it's already 10, but I hope that the audience will allow me to deliver all the acknowledgements of all the respective parties who have helped us to be here today. So hold on, everyone. First of all, I'd like to dedicate a special thanks to our panelists for your time in sharing all this wonderful insight about volunteering with us tonight, despite some connection issues. Personally, I've had experience volunteering during last December's flood tragedy. It was definitely a humbling experience. Like, we had to clear out tons of trash from people's homes. Very stinky, yet we pulled through. Anyways, I think our panelists can agree that willingly investing our energy for the community's benefit is a fulfilling experience, as well as going through hardships with your volunteering team, the sweat, the tears, conflicts. It what's it's what makes the memories extra sweet. Okay, like what Damia and Tai Nguyen did for the Vietnamese communities. Also, Wan Shahmir's volunteering during his student exchange program in Canada. I believe your experiences, the connections you made, and the challenges you overcame have changed you in some way, a better way. And to our collaborative partner, Brigade Sukarelawan, this online event would not have been made possible without this collaboration. Also, our deepest gratitude to Majlis Perwakilan Pelajar and Sekretariat Mahasiswa Fakulti Pendidikan, our strategic partners, for giving us a platform for the event exposure. I must also give honorable mention to our lecturer advisors, Sir Hafiz and Madam Zuraimi. Your guidance and contributions have helped us improve our preparations to make the best out of this program. I also want to dedicate a huge appreciation to our event committee, our backbone that made this online event a success, the teams that developed the materials, the ones managing this live stream, our moderator conducting this event, and our amazing director, Damia, for her devotion in leading us from start to finish. If you know any of them, give them a shout out in the YouTube chat. Okay. Lastly, thank you to all of you who listened throughout this event and for livening up the chat. May this sharing enlighten you to be more proactive in volunteering. May your volunteering experience ground you about the shortcomings of others and have you exploring more volunteering opportunities. With that, I end my speech.
Thank you so much, Aisha, for the inspiring speech. This whole successful event was due to her determination in making everything flow smoothly. Massive thank you to for all the hard work given by the rest of the team. Thank you so much for the time you have spent in making this event a success. So, a friendly reminder to our audiences, please do not forget to fill in the feedback form that is provided to you before the end of the program tonight, or you can scan the QR code at the end of the event. Honored ladies and gentlemen, it is unfortunate to say that the speech just now marks the end of our ceremony today. But we will not leave the program with empty hands, as now we are illuminated with the shine of knowledge that we can all benefit from. Uh, sorry, as now we are all illuminated with the shine of knowledge that we can all benefit from for today, for tomorrow, and forever. Dear beloved audience, now let us all be ready to sing UiTM di Hatiku. Thank you, everyone. Before we part ways, let's have a quick photography session. We would like to ask the panelists and the team members in the StreamYard, please switch on your camera for a little while as the technical team will now take over.
Hi, hello, good evening, everyone. So we will proceed to the photography session. So I hope all of you can give us your sweetest smile. Okay, if you guys are ready, we will start by counting three, two, one. Okay, another one. Three, two, one, and last one. Three, two, one. Okay, right. Thank you very much, everyone. Moderator, take the floor.
Thank you, technical team, for the photography session just now. Dear our beloved audience, unfortunately, we have reached the end of our program in their International Volunteering Talk. On behalf of the organizers, me, Abdin Shakirin, would like to express our immense gratitude to our guests and audience for participating in today's event. We'd also like to apologize for any inconveniences and shortcomings caused throughout the program. Once again, don't forget to fill in the feedback form. See you again. With that, we end the program today by reciting Tasbih Kafara and Surah Al-As. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you and see you soon. Goodbye, everyone.